And on the same line, the folks who oversee daycare centers, have they come to you saying we have a problem with people with these diplomas, that they're horrible workers, or we need to do it?
No.
Do any departments that oversee this, no one has come forward and complained that they're getting shoddy employees?
No.
The I know this committee, we had Representative Johnny Shaw had a bill about taking driver's license away from parents who won't show up when their kid's been in trouble, and we're all agreeing that parents are so important in a child's education. I think as we look at this legislation, we should almost have a default position that we kind of side with parents, that we applaud that they're involved in their child's life, and that really there should be arguments against that we should side with the parents as much as possible, because we all recognize this. And it concerns me sometimes when we talk about the homeschoolers like it's a different group. There's a lady who I know who at one time she was homeschooling one son. One son was at a private school, one was at a public school. Before it was all over, they all graduated from Fulton High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yesterday I had lunch with the gentleman who came here from Washington who was talking. He's on the school board. They turned the scores around there, and he was talking about early intervention. Some of y'all might have been there, and I was fortunate enough to sit next to him and have a discussion. Well, it came out that he's a school board member and has done all this work. Well, he actually homeschooled each one of his children at least 1 year because they needed it at that time. And I've been able to speak in front of homeschoolers before, and I've used language, and maybe it's not appropriate, but I talk about educational bigotry, where we categorize people because they're in a certain group, and I caution them not to judge people, not to say, well, because you're a public school person, you have these characteristics, or you're a private school, this means this, or you're a homeschool. I mean, they're all kids, and with my experience, I worked with the public schools very closely for 8 years. I went to Catholic schools, and we homeschooled our kids up through the 7th grade. So I have a lot of experience with all three, and believe me, everything has its pluses and everything has its minuses, but they're all kids, and if you went to a playground and there were public, private, and homeschool kids, you probably couldn't tell a bit of difference. So I just say that let's try not to categorize people and think that's all they are, because they come in and out of the system, and in the end the parents, we hope, are trying to make the best decision for that child at that time. And I don't think there was any problem. I'm not sure why the department changed this rule or this regulation, because it doesn't seem like there was something they were trying to fix. And I don't know if we're going to vote on this bill today or roll it or whatever, but I hope we can support parents, since I think we all value that and see that is the key to education. And in the end, we'll be able to support this bill. And I thank you for I know how much work and headache you've gone through to get it to this point. And I do hope you're successful, and I hope it's unanimous.
Thank you, Chairman Dunn. And I promised I wasn't going to say anything else. I've made a motion in my own head that I'm going to reconsider that. And a slight response to that, and I think Chairman Dunn makes great points, as always. He's always thinking. I think the homeschool community, the homeschoolers, is something that's held in high regard by every member of this committee. I don't recall us initiating any action toward them, but toward a private school, toward the homeschool, toward anything. We've gone through the process. Everybody's been happy, and everybody's done their thing, whether it's public school, private school, or homeschool. So I think this committee does hold them in high regard, and always has, and we don't initiate anything negatively against them. Any other question or discussion? Dr. Hensley, Chairman Hensley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Homeschool students now can go to any college or university with that diploma that they have.
Yes, again, Dr. Brown, she's not here today, but she's got specifically, because I'm from Southeast Tennessee, I know some students from her area. She's got 2 that are at Harvard right now on full scholarships, and the young man Nathaniel Goggins, who just got who was just appointed to the State Ethics Commission, who was homeschooled, is also from Chattanooga, and he's an attorney as well. So yes, they can go to any college or university around. But
there's certain agencies, or you said child care and other places, where they just don't recognize that homeschool student as having completed high school, or
correct. They ask that the student go get a GED before they could be a daycare worker. And of course the student could go get a GED,
right.
But to tell you the truth, the parents and the student feels it demeans
right.
the 12 years that they spent at home.
But all of our public universities, private universities, colleges accept them as having finished a 12 years of high school or schooling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say one more thing, and I wanted you just to, if you can remember last year, I wanted you to look around this room. I didn't call and say, hey, call all these members. I didn't want to. I know y'all get bothered enough, and I specifically, the national organization, the state organization, they both knew I was going to be discussing this bill today. But I said, don't bother them. Don't bother them. I'm going to argue the bill. I'm going to talk about it on its merits, and let it go from there. And I didn't want to bring any undue pressure on the members of this committee by having 300 people in this room.
Okay, we appreciate that, and we have more respect for you. We're going to listen to you. I have a question called for on the bill. Any objection to the question? Those in favor of House Bill 431, going to full committee, say aye. Those opposed, no. No. Call a roll, Madam Clerk.
Barker, Brown, Dunn, Harwell, Hawk, Hensley, Ulysses Jones, Lawler, Maddox, Larry Turner, Weaver, Winningham,
No.
Mr. Speaker Williams.
Announce the vote, please. Anyone want to change their vote before we announce it?
6 aye, 5 no.
And the motion to full committee carries.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members.